can't stand it, I can't take it anymore, not anymore. No one said that this would get easy. No one said this wouldn't get hard. Brush it off and roll up your sleeves now. It's a shot in the dark till you get what you want.
Welcome on back to the Spike College Football Show. We are back after a week off because we had a lot of shit to do. Parenting, playing fucking fairies, hunting, technical problems. Look at this kid right here. Look at this beautiful baby of mine. Look, I mean, this is what I have to deal with on most of my days. You see this thing? Mwah. He was a pain in the ass last week. Tyler just kicked out. Now we're back. We're better than ever, and we're ready to do some picks. We're gonna give you guys some picks today. My camera still won't flip over. Still don't know why.
He's obsessed.
What's that?
You're obsessed with flipping it over, making it look good.
I don't know why it's not working. But let's go. Let's roll. Tyler, how was your 2 weeks off? We haven't been on in 2 weeks.
I mean, cry at Maryland, but I mean, other than that, I've been okay. You know.
Just so you know, after the 2 weeks, I did do the records from 2 weeks ago. Tyler, you went 12-8.
Oh shit!
Rob went 15. Rob went 15 and. No, sorry, Tyler, you went 12-10. Rob went 15-7. Damn. I went 14-8.
Damn.
Now the scores so far are 79. I'm 79-48. You and Rob are tied to 81-46.
Damn.
Those are our picks. We're gonna make it a quick pick show today, guys. Sorry. Again, baby. I'm moving. There's a lot of shit going on. You know, constant moving, constant all this other bullshit. But we will be back every week from now on. We apologize. Hey, kid. Shut up. And we're back. We're going to talk some college football. Lots of games picked today. Michigan just keeps digging itself a hole. Now, apparently, there's been people getting paid from NIL money. Mm-hmm. It's just been a whole bunch of shit. They're just becoming more and more scumbagish.
I love it that they're all like, "Oh, we didn't get any due process," until the lawyer in the room said, "Due process hasn't happened yet."
I can't believe that they just keep going down a hole of. I mean, they're made cheating. You didn't have to you could do this without doing all this, and they're just making it a James Bond film when it's like a short story. Why do you have to? You don't have to do all this.
I think the thing we will encapsulate all this once we know all the data. But I want to know when Jim Harbaugh restructured his contract after his, slightly not so good first 3 years there. Same like Scott Frost. Scott Frost restructured his contract the same way. I'm wondering how soon after the restructuring did this start? That's what I want to know.
I think this is like Harbaugh's double way out because I think he was going to leave if he won a national championship, and now he can leave anyway. I think he's going to, like I said, I told you a couple weeks ago, he's going to coach the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think he's out. I think this is just, I think he might even be the person to leak this shit out. I don't think. Because I think he knows he can't win at Michigan. What's that?
But yet somehow he's cheated his way for everyone, including the media, to think that, hey, they're the best Big Ten team.
Well, they might be. The Big Ten has been bad, and Ohio State just keeps shitting on themselves, and they should beat them every year. And, I mean, it's Ryan Day's just whatever. Anyway, lots of storylines. Not really. We didn't really miss that much for not being on last week. It's kind of been no upsets. Just this would be the perfect year for the 12-team playoff because there's not 4 teams that are better than anybody. There's Georgia, who's better than everybody. And then there's 12 teams that are good enough to beat anybody on any given Saturday.
Yeah.
And then there's might be even 15 to 20 teams that are good enough. Because even my team, who is, I think, 19th now or 22nd, can beat anybody in the country, but then they can also lose to any of those teams too. Like we haven't lost to a bad team, and we've beaten 3 good teams and lost to 3 good teams. You know what I mean? It's all over the place.
I'm just mystified that people still think a 1-loss team can still get into the playoff. I'm like, you morons.
Maybe if like Georgia loses and then 3 other teams lose, Washington loses, then yeah. But other than that, I mean,
like I just don't buy. Like everyone's like, I get the statistical probability of when Washington and Oregon inevitably face each other in the Big 12 in the Pac-12 championship game, that Oregon is inevitably going to win, and that's going to change the minds of the committee members when that happens.
I think the committee has way too much. All right, coming from me, it's a lot. Way too much SEC bias. They take way too much claims on preseason rankings. I'm sorry. Kentucky's not a top 25 team. Tennessee's not a top 25 team. Ole Miss is not a top 25 team. And they have those. And they have those. The Pac-12 has legitimate teams, and they might get left out because of biases. And it kind of it's gonna suck because I'm telling you right now, Oregon State's gonna beat Washington today. That's gonna happen. And then when Oregon beats Washington, are they gonna get left out? Like it's just gonna be, I don't know. And then what happens when Alabama beats Georgia? Texas is still there, but then they've ranked Alabama above Texas, even though they went into Tuscaloosa and beat them by 10.
Yeah, like that alone.
And I'm so tired of the people like fucking Casey Smith and other idiots online. Well, that happened in September. They're a different team, so why even play the game? Don't even play the game if you're not going to take the head-to-head seriously, especially in a away win. If you're not going to take it seriously, then why even play?
And then, there's the reflexive of that. And it's like, here we are waiting, about 45 minutes to see Alabama challenge Chattanooga here late in November. Like, so all of a sudden, this non-conference SEC game matters a heck of a lot more than the SEC games played in September and October.
Which I gave them credit for playing that game. Absolutely play that game. And I'm not even saying you have to leave Alabama out of the playoff. I'm like, but you can't have Texas, if they only lose one game, above them. And Texas played cupcakes early too. I think they played the cup. And I don't even mind the SEC playing late cupcakes. I don't, because you want to know it's a grind. The season's a grind. You're allowed to have one cupcake on your schedule. Like, I don't mind that. But you can't do the Michigan, and you cannot have a team just because they played in September. Oh, they're a different team. Why play the games then?
Yeah, I just don't value like.
And you want to know something? Another thing that pisses me off, they're like, well, Florida State's win against LSU was like, LSU was a much better team, yes, in the beginning of the year, but you have to still give them credit for winning that game.
Yeah, you do.
You can't just say, oh, well, doesn't matter. They were a better team then. It just bothers me. Why even play the games if we're just gonna argue? Well, now they're like this, and the SEC bias is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. They have way too many ranked teams. I don't know, man. I'm just for like the only value you should be placed in is if you face and beat a top 25 team. You shouldn't be based on when you played them over the year. It's dumb. And another thing, everybody jumped off the Clemson bandwagon, and I told you they're a good team. Clemson's a good team. They've lost to nobody but good teams. And now they're I don't know. It's just there's just a lot of unauthorized, in my opinion, like just bashing of teams, and you're allowed to have a down year, and then the whole I don't know, man. I just get frustrated with people saying, well, the games early don't really count as much as the games late. Like, shut up.
It's like, if everyone's scheduled or if everyone's structured their schedule the same way, that might have merit, but they don't.
No, Michigan plays 5 cupcakes and then they play 2 games at the end of the year. And then Alabama played 2 tough games. I give them credit for it. again, and then they have their cupcake at the end, which is fine. You can do that, but you can't then bash the other team for beating them because that's how they schedule. You can't do that.
Exactly.
And it's not me hating on Alabama at all. I think they've gotten a lot better. You know what they have? And I wouldn't even mind. They might beat Georgia. They have gotten a lot better. But you can't take a win Texas physically dominated them.
They did.
It wasn't because of their quarterback at all. It wasn't Milroe's fault. They literally dominated their defense and offensive lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let's get into some games. Let's pick some games.
Yeah, let's pick some games. Like when we come back as a foursome, we'll talk more news and we'll probably know a lot more about some other things.
All right, Tyler, first game we're picking. Do you have Rob's picks with you?
I do. Let me dig them up.
Number 10, Louisville, is getting a point. Sometimes they're getting a point. Sometimes they're giving a point here in a couple, whatever sportsbook you're looking at. At Miami, who you got?
Well, I don't have faith in Miami anymore. That drug out. I'm a Louisville guy here now.
I'm gonna ride with Miami.
Interesting.
I'm a ride or die, man. I'm always a ride or die. Louisville's not great on the road. They're fantastic at home, like we've told you. I'm gonna ride with Miami, getting Van Dyke back after benching him. Who's Rob take?
Rob takes Louisville. Obviously, he has zero faith in Miami, too.
Next game, 24 Tulane, giving 9 points at FAU.
Ooh, this is Tulane all day. Like, FAU's on their, third-string quarterback.
They had so much promise going into this year. They were one of my over picks, but I'm going to have to also take Tulane here.
Yeah.
I think Rob took Tulane.
He did.
Number 3, Michigan, minus 19.5 at Maryland.
Rob went with Michigan. I'm going with Michigan because Maryland can't run the ball to save their life.
You want to know what? And that's exactly. Listen, I'm not picking him ever. I can't pick him ever. I'm taking Maryland because you want to know why? If somehow he can just, if Taglia can just throw 2 touchdowns quick, Michigan can't come back. They don't have the offense meant to come back. They don't. And they always blow big games. And I know this is a stupid pick, but I'm taking Maryland.
You must have some faith in Talia's deep ball with that Michigan secondary. I mean, granted, the secondary is the weakest bit of Michigan.
But have they been tested?
No, they haven't.
I mean, who's the best quarterback they've played? Drew Aller? Really? Come on. Come on.
I mean, numbers-wise, yeah, that's about the...
That's pretty piss poor.
Him and Talia are pretty close up there, you know?
Next pick, 14, Oklahoma, minus 25 at BYU.
Oh,
I'm taking Oklahoma in the route.
I am too, and so is Rob, so it's a consensus pick.
Boom. Rutgers, plus 20.5 at Penn State.
I'm going to be an on-ball. I think Rutgers will get it done.
Tyler, you're not as odd as you think you are because I'm taking Rutgers as well.
And it's a consensus pick again because it's Rob's too.
Wow. And Franklin doesn't win big games. They're coming off of a big loss. Rutgers is actually, what are they, 6-2, 6-3?
Yeah, so it's something like that.
And I got that over in September.
Right.
I told you they were going to be a good team. Schiano knows how to mold those upstate New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, Northern Maryland players that he gets. He knows how to mold them into being a great team. They're not the best athletes, but they play team football.
And I just think this is a classic letdown spot for Penn State.
All right, we have to pick this game because we always pick this game. I forgot the name of it. SMU minus 9.5 at Memphis. This is a big rivalry game. I don't remember the name, but I'm going to take SMU and their 5-star quarterback. But I think it's a close game.
Ooh, yeah, I'll go SMU as well. And Rob did SMU as well.
Another consensus.
And,
All right. Game day is here right now.
And by the way, the rivalry is called the Iron Skillet rivalry.
Iron Skillet. That's right. The fight for the Iron Skillet. Game day is here right now. App State +10 at JMU. I'm hammering the Dukes here. It's ridiculous that they're not going to be able to play a New Year's Six game because they went into the league. That's such bullshit. I love James Madison here. I love him big.
Same. And so is Rob. Another one. I almost wanted to be the quintessential heel and say App State's going to beat the fuck out of them, but numbers don't lie.
Number 22, Utah plus a point at 17, Arizona.
I'm actually looking forward to this game.
Arizona has been playing great football this year. But I think Utah finally gets a road win. They're always used to Arizona winning or Utah winning at home. I think they finally get a road win. I'm taking Utah.
I'm right there with you. I think the Arizona's luck finally kind of runs out, and Utah gets the win.
What did Rob take?
Arizona.
All right. Next pick. Bottom of the worst and bottom for who's ever right ahead of Vanderbilt. Kentucky +2 at South Carolina. This is the game that Spencer Rattler dominates and dominates big time. I'm taking South Carolina big.
Ooh, Rob went South Carolina. He had to finally. But your boy's going heel on this one on buying into Mark Stoops in Kentucky because
I can't buy into them because, like I said at the beginning of the year, they're going to win their first 5 and then not make a bowl. And so far, I've been very, very right. And I'm going to continue to be very, very right starting today. Next pick, Minnesota, 27.5-point underdog at Ohio State. Is this a letdown game?
It's scaring me. It's scaring me that it is one, but I don't.
I think it might be a slow pace game. And if they had their team from a couple years ago with Ibrahim and Tanner, I think this is the win here. I think it might be a closer game, but I like Ohio. Like I wanted to be picking crazy here, but I'm taking Ohio State. I just don't trust the quarterback, the long name. They don't have a real big playmaker. Their wide receivers are fantastic. I'm taking Ohio State.
Yeah, I am too. The Minnesota secondary sucks, and they ain't gonna get any pressure on Marvin Harrison. And then Rob with Ohio State as well.
All right, I think this is the battle for the Mountain West. UNLV +3 at Air Force. Air Force. I was the only one to take Army the other week, and Army dominated Air Force. Dominated. But I'm going to go back on the American train right here. I'm taking Air Force.
You're right. It is battle for the top, but I'm going UNLV. And Rob went Air Force.
All right, Wake Forest, 24.5-point dogs at Notre Dame. Battle of the Sam Hartman Trophy. I think Notre Dame finally looks like a real team and they dominate.
Rob's in that camp, and I'm in that camp as well.
Because they've beaten every team that they should have beaten except for Clemson, maybe. I mean, and they dominated every team that they should have dominated. And they didn't dominate Clemson, but Clemson's not a bad team. I keep saying that's not that bad of a loss. And we all saw that coming.
Yep.
Like that wasn't a bad. Clemson's not a bad team. They're just in a bad year.
Yep.
All right, number 1, Georgia -10 at Tennessee. Is there any hopes of an upset here?
No.
Not even close.
No.
There's zero.
That Tennessee doesn't have the offensive firepower like they did last year. So
yeah, this is going to be a blowout. Rob, same way?
Yep.
UCLA +5.5 at USC, the Battle of California.
I'm going USC.
Tyler, I'm going to go USC here too because there's been lots of talks of Chip Kelly getting fired.
And that fucks with teams when that talk
And
happens.
I don't really like that because I don't understand why. I really don't. I really don't. But I'm gonna go with USC.
He went UCLA.
Okay. The Battle of the Eyes in the Big Ten. Illinois getting 3 points at Iowa. How is Iowa 16th in the country? Just for that reason alone, I'm picking Illinois because they shouldn't be 16th. I don't know if they're going to win the game, but they shouldn't be 16th.
All right. I'm same way with you, and so is Rob. I want Illinois to win so bad.
Next pick. Number 20 UNC is getting 7.5 at Clemson. I'm taking Clemson to win the game. I don't know if they cover, but I'm going to say they win.
Same. And Rob's going UNC.
If you watch the Clemson games like I've watched this year, a lot of their games have been flukes. Fumbles, stupid plays. They drive the ball down the field. I think Clemson bounces back here. And with another statement win. After the Notre Dame win, another statement win against UNC. I like Clemson here. All right. The battle of I don't remember, the Sunflower State? Is that Kansas? K-State at Kansas. Kansas is getting 10 points. I believe Bean is playing. I'm going to take Kansas State and their dual quarterbacks. And that's just what I'm going to roll with.
Will Anderson's going to dominate. Give me State. And Rob went with the blue and the gold of KU.
Wow, Rob's being contrarian to us all day. All right. All right, Tyler.
The Sunflower Showdown is what that's called.
I was close. I said the Sunflower State.
Yeah.
Nebraska +6 at Wisconsin.
I'm torn. Some stats for you. Nebraska has lost the last 9 against Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's just as lost as we are. We're 2 500 teams battling for bowl eligibility. I'm going with Wisconsin.
And the coach did come out and say, we're going to see who wants to be here. That's what the Wisconsin Fickle said. That's always one of those, they're going to come out firing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ride with Nebraska here because I bet you Matt Rule does the same thing on his side. And I think the bowl game means a lot more for Nebraska than it does Wisconsin.
I'm totally expecting if we die, we die sort of speech sometime today.
What about Rob?
Oh, Rob went to Nebraska as well.
Next pick, Florida +11 at number 9 Mizzou.
Isn't it just we give shit about Iowa failing upwards? I mean, Mizzou's essentially doing the same thing in the SEC, is failing upwards. But
I'm taking Florida, and I think Florida dominates.
I'm going Mizzou, and so is Rob.
7 Texas -7.5 at Iowa State.
Oh, Rob's going Texas. I believe Matt Campbell needs to look good at his job interview, but still Texas wins.
I think Iowa State wins this game. And this is a nice little feather in Matt Campbell's bid to be the new Michigan head coach.
I'm 80% certain he's already accepted the Michigan State job. 80% certain.
Really? You think he's going to take... Well, then the Michigan State... I think this is a job interview for him, and I think he wins this game. Last pick, so we can go watch game day. We love you guys. Thanks for supporting. Number 5, Washington. +1 point at number 11, Oregon State. Who you got?
Penix for Heisman. I'm riding Washington.
Who's Rob taking?
Washington.
Boys, I told you these games I'm picking the home team Pac-12. I'm riding very, very hard with Oregon State. And I think that they win. And I think it fucks up everything.
I'm rooting for chaos too, like that, but I'm riding my boy for the Heisman because
I'm taking Martinez and DJ to run the ball. Take possessions away from Washington at home in Corvallis. It's fucking hard to get to. I'm taking Oregon State.
like most of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, dude, Pullman. The only Washington's not hard to get to. Eugene isn't anymore because they have the airplane. They have the airstrip now for Nike. But Pullman, Oregon State. I guess that's the only ones. Utah's not that easy either because you got to fly to Salt Lake.
Yeah, in order to get anywhere in the state, that's true.
But I'm going to take Oregon State there.
How many games is this week?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 21 games.
21.
And we do have a consensus
On 4 of them, right?
we're going to take Rutgers on our money line parlay. Our money line parlay is going to be Rutgers, Tulane, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame.
Yep. I like
and SMU.
I like that.
All right, guys. Like I said, we'll be back when we have the foursome, hopefully this week. I think hunting's over this week, actually, for Bo. So we'll be back. JC, you're back. Rob's will be done playing fucking LARPing. And let's go watch some football. Love you guys. Tyler, love you.
I
Be
love you.
good. And remember, as always, keep it spiked. Boom.